How's it going, everyone? This is Tom with RedmanPie.com. Today we have our full review for you of one of the most anticipated Android phones, or smartphones in general, of 2014, the Samsung Galaxy S5. The S5 is an interesting phone because it built upon Samsung's apparent new manufacturing process, and one which is actually becoming more and more popular with consumer electronics in general, of iteration as opposed to innovation. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S4 happened to be one of the most popular phones of all time. Samsung has stuck with a traditional plastic build quality, this time adding a slightly perforated back onto the back cover. This actually helps with grip of the phone, and I definitely prefer it to the smooth, slippery back of the previous Galaxy S4. The overall build quality is what we come to expect from Samsung phones, rather plasticky, slightly cheap feeling, and definitely far from premium. If you like it, you like it. If not, you will probably won't learn to like it. If you've tried and prefer phones built like the HTC One M8, you probably won't really enjoy using the Galaxy S5. I'm still not a fan of it, but I kind of got used to the plasticky feeling over time. I just can't really shake the fact that a phone so well built as the HTC One M8 didn't push Samsung to change their design standards or materials at all. The Samsung Galaxy S5 is touted to be IP67 certified. This means the phone is completely dust resistant and water resistant. I'm sure a fair few people will find it useful that you don't have to be as careful as you normally would with a smartphone around water, though I can honestly say I've never been worried about dropping my phone in water and never actually have done it. For this reason, I've preferred a much more unibody design, leaving the ports open instead of having these kind of ridiculous flaps that you have to open and close every single time you want to charge the phone. It's especially annoying when you get this recurring alert reminding you to close it, and that happens every single time you want to take your phone off charge. The silly thing is, this could have all been solved by using a wireless charger, but Samsung resolutely refused to implement the key wireless charging standard into this phone. Around the back of the phone we have a removable back cover which lets you access the SIM card slot, the micro SD card slot which makes the phone expandable up to an extra 128GB, and of course where the battery goes. It's obviously a huge plus that when the battery on this phone runs low, you can swap it back for a spare, and that also goes for battery damage as well. And actually a small minority of phones have this functionality now, so it's a big plus for the S5. With this being said, the battery life on the S5 is really fantastic, easily lasting me a day of use and probably up to 2 days if I was conservative with my phone usage. If you're a normal smartphone user, you won't have any issues with running out of juice throughout the day. The camera on the S5 is one of its strongest points for me. Coming from the HTC One M8, as I stated earlier, the camera is night and day better on the S5. It packs a huge 16 megapixel sensor capable of capturing incredible detail, the autofocus is ridiculously quick and responsive, and the shots that the phone produces look good in most situations. In more difficult situations, the camera might struggle a bit, but on the whole, this has been one of the most enjoyable cameras to use on a phone that I've ever had the pleasure of using. Next, let's chat a little bit about the Fingerprint Scanner. As soon as Touch ID was implemented on the iPhone 5S, we got an announcement there will be the same functionality on the S5. Normally, if a feature isn't great on a Samsung phone, I just won't use it. However, with the Fingerprint Scanner, I love the feature so much on my iPhone 5S, I was really disappointed to find that the scanner on the S5 pretty much just sucks. You have to perfectly scan your finger at the correct angle to allow it to read, scrolling from the bottom of the screen to the home button, and whilst in theory this works, it needs to be far more precise about judging your fingerprints. The current success rate I say is around 2 out of 10 compared to roughly a 9 out of 10 that I'd see with Apple's Touch ID. The screen on the S5 has been the thing that I enjoy most about it. A 5.1 inch 1080p Super AMOLED panel, it makes for an incredible viewing experience. This is easily one of the best displays in the smartphone market, and some people are even calling it the best. Doing everything from watching films, YouTube videos, or just general navigation around the operating system is an absolute joy. If sometimes saw fit to improve the rather tinny speaker on the back of the phone and make it so the sound actually came out in the direction you were looking at it, this would pretty much be the perfect media consumption smartphone. Talking about the operating system, the S5 is running a new version of Samsung's TouchWiz Skin on top of Android 4.4 KitKat. Anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely hated TouchWiz on the Galaxy S4 with a passion, and I'm pleased to say that I hate it a lot less on this phone. It's been thinned out, slightly lighter, and feels a tad more like stock Android. There are certain things I'm not happy with though. There's a kind of an ever-present lag on the phone, which for such a powerful Android phone shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. It's clearly software optimization that isn't taking advantage of the hardware that is available, and also, let's be honest, the settings app is just a nightmare. It has about 100 different bubbles, which split up different categories. It just really needs better sorting. The Galaxy S5 is likely to be one of the best-selling Android phones of the year, and that's because it's likely to be one of the best Android phones of the year. It's quick, enjoyable to use, presents an overall good user experience, and built upon Samsung's tried and tested formula. The phone doesn't feel as good as the HTC One M8 or run as smoothly on its software as the iPhone 5S, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if you know what you're getting. I highly doubt anyone buying a 5S will be disappointed in their purchase. Thanks for watching, guys. Head over to redmondpie.com if you want to check out more Galaxy S5 coverage, and we'll see you next time.